How do you design the perfect footballer? One that performs with astonishing quality week in, week out. The complete package. Easy to coach, hard to stop, never beatable. Of all the current models, two come closest to the ultimate. Tonight, they are opposing forces. Carlton's superhero, Chris Judd, faster than a speeding tagger, more powerful than a crushing tackle, able to leap defenders with a single bound. And Geelong's Gary Ablett, brilliant by hand and foot, both sides of the body, capable of freakish deeds.
That is as good as it gets.
What makes them complete? Balance, acceleration, endurance. Both can break away, make space, turn, tackle, contest, carry, create and deliver. And both have courage and the toughness to endure. It's a team game, but the game within is which of these perfectionists will have the most influence and possibly decide the contest. Carlton's peerless leader or the Cats' little master.
Set to go, a couple of champs here. Andrew Mackie, 100th game tonight. In fact, he turns 25 today, so a bit of a double celebration for him. Geelong, where they've just been winning their last couple against Hawthorn here with Bartell's point, and then last week with Chapman's heroics against the Crows. They're 16-2, but the injury list continues to grow. No Scarlett tonight, no Taylor tonight, and no Chapman. There's their captain, Tom Harley, who's had an indifferent season with injuries as well. And there are the Blues. Lee Matthews with me at the MCG. So, Lee, a chance maybe for Carlton tonight?
Well, totally. I think with the two big defenders out, Geelong are a little bit down in that area. I think Gillies and Lonergan will actually be given the chance in those key position roles. But they've only just been getting home, Geelong, but it's just we compare them to their extraordinarily high standard. We see the teams there. Hawkins is named at full forward, spending a bit of time in the ruck as the backup to Mumford. I think that's good for him. It releases him round the ground. When he does go back to full forward, got a bit more confidence of getting a bit more of the footy round the ground.
What about their accuracy in front of goals, the Cats?
Well, it can be a little bit hit and miss. Been all right the last couple of months, but Cameron Mooney has kicked 23 goals, 27 behinds from set shots. And we saw against St Kilda a couple of 50-metre bombs he put through. But every now and again, from 20 or 30 metres out, he just tries to steer the footy. I think that he has proven every time he has a shot for goal, he should be trying to kick it 50 metres. When he does that, he kicks it straighter.
And what about Tom Hawkins? Where's he at?
Well, he's been used as the backup ruckman. I think that's good utilisation of personnel. It means they can have an extra medium-sized player on the bench in their 22.
Drama surrounding Steve Johnson, Lee. They gave him a warm-up an hour before in the rooms. He came onto the ground. They had a medical certificate ready. If he didn't come up, they've decided to play him.
It's got to be a little bit of a concern because it does mean that hip injury is still hanging around.
So out come the Blues, Judd and also Nick Stevens there. And Judd, a bit of focus on him tonight.
Well, he's had a couple of down weeks by his own illustrious standards, so they need Judd to have a really good game to get over the top of Geelong tonight.
So, Dennis, a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely, Bruce. Nick Stevens, 100, as you can see. Nathan Buckley is with me. And Nathan, we've seen Carlton, 3 Friday nights in a row now. This is the third of them. Mediocre last week, very poor against the Magpies the week before. They can ill afford that sort of play tonight.
Yeah, well, they've been able to get away with it. Winning form's good form, they say. They've won 4 out of 5, but I think everyone down in Carlton understands that they're going to need to find another gear if they're going to be competitive this evening.
In their case, winning form is average form, you've got to say that. One late change, Austin is out, Wiggins comes in.
Yeah, Wiggins may be important. They've been looking for a foil for Brendan Favola for most of the year. Jared Waite was that person early in the season. Fisher at times, O'Halpin at times. Wiggins will play that role and definitely something that the Carlton hierarchy have been trying to include into their forward structure.
You talk about that foil, 34 goals for the season, but none last week for Eddie Betts.
Yeah, he's been played as a crumbing type player, but I actually like the way he gets involved as a leading player at times. His stats show that he's played inside 50 more often this year than last year. He's the fourth ranked inside 50 tackler in the competition, but his movement in front of the ball is going to be important for the Blues this evening.
Shame on the team barber. Look at this. Brendan Favola's been to the barber this week. I dare say it wasn't just your run-of-the-mill barber. 64 goals for the season, 3 last week. Jonathan Brown leads the race for the Coleman with 68.
Well, he just keeps producing. He won out in that forward line, and he is the focus of most of the Blues attacks. They go to him. He's taken 82 marks inside 50. The next best is Betts with 16. So he's a massive focus, and he will be again.
Andrew Mackie, a birthday today. Game number 100. A master rebounder these days.
He is, and he'll probably play a key role. Perhaps at centre-half back on O'Halpin. He'll need to play as a defender first and run off second, and that's not been initially his brief, but he'll have to play a different role, as will Tom Harley. Generally, Harley and Milburn will play those third men over roles, and one of them will have to play that role tonight, but once again, the Geelong defence looking a little bit different this week.
Steve Johnson in doubt coming in, as we heard, a last-minute decision to play, only his 4th game against the Blues, and there's Chris Judd. No doubt he can expect more close attention tonight at half-time. He'll be talking with Nathan Buckley. Look forward to that. Friday night football. Look forward to this. Carlton against Geelong. Stick around. So back at the MCG, and that speaks for itself, actually. Thornton and Favola just mussing around, and suddenly down goes Fev. Ease the pain, relieve the swelling. Hopefully he's okay. Got the toss of the coin coming up.
When you're ready, up.
Nick Stevens playing game number 100.
Call it. Yes, it is. Good luck, guys.
Tom Harley wins the toss. First blood to the Cats on what is a very cold Friday as we go down to the boundary, and maybe get back up on that statement. Here's Tim Watson.
Yes, it is very cold down here on the boundary line tonight. Just the good news is, though, for Fev, he has recovered. I do want to take you back 7 days, though, Friday night at Etihad Stadium to scenes at halftime. There's the midfield coach, Mark Riley, speaking to the midfielders at halftime. He was extremely animated. He was unhappy about their intensity, unhappy about the lack of two-way running, the work rate, the organisation. In the third quarter, the player who really responded to that was a player who I believe is very important. There he is on screen now, the top of the screen there. Richard Hadley had 4 clearances in the third quarter alone. What he can do is he can take a lot of pressure off Chris Judd if he is able to work inside the contest and win the ball. Not a particularly good player by foot yet. He needs to improve in that area, but good by hand. He is creative. Bryce Gibbs went on to say on Saturday morning after that game last Friday night that he believed the midfield had to improve their intensity by a whopping 50%. Now, they're here at the MCG on Friday night against the best, or one of the best midfield combinations in the competition. Who better to test themselves against?
You're right, Tim. We're about to find out. Umpires tonight, James, Stevick and McInerney. Nick Stevens, close to Carlton's best player last week, 25 possessions, 2 goals. In game 99 for the Blues, game number 100 tonight. And we're set to go. Carlton need to make a statement tonight. Struggled last week. And Favola playing on Lonigan. His best effort 5 against the Cats, but of course so much of that against Scarlett. Here's a chance for Stokes over the top. Corey goes down towards half forward, storming up the ground. Hawkins on his chest, wheels around. The man he was going to fell over. That was Johnson. Gets to his feet, but running into the hole is Stokes. Involved moments ago back in midfield. Will shoot at goal from 25.
Stokesy!
I think Carlton would have been disappointed that they just didn't get back into that back 50 quick enough. They sort of hanging around the middle of the ground there on that change of play. Plenty of space for Stokes to get back into.
Fantastic kick by Hawkins, and there was good movement into that ball. Good forward play to be in front first to move.
So Stokes for the perfect start. His 15th goal of the season. Puts it through.
It's going to be very important for Geelong to start well, and they obviously have done exactly that. A hard contest in the middle, a nice handball out from Stokes then, and then his effort to run on into the forward 50 was very good play, high work rate. You'd see there Jordan Russell on Steve Johnson, just preoccupied with the body rather than actually going and contesting the ball. But Geelong are up, they've got what they've wanted early.
Well, two champions, Brad Ottens, who knows if he'll be back this year, and Matthew Scarlett.